Hello and welcome to day 26 of our Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, Las Vegas to Pittsburgh Virtual GOTV for GVP Tour. My name's Andrew Patrick. I want to thank you for watching. Today, we're in Pennsylvania, and we are speaking with Congresswoman Susan Wild of Pennsylvania's 7th District. Congresswoman, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, happy to be here.
As you know, we named this tour Las Vegas to Pittsburgh, and tomorrow is the second anniversary of the horrific Tree of Life shooting in Pittsburgh. There's a week left in the election. There's a lot going on. Pennsylvania is the center of the political universe almost. How is your state itself coping with this act of hate 2 years later, but also just doing in general as we're heading into this election season?
Well, first, I just have to say that I think it's really important that no matter how busy we are with an election season and so forth, that we never forget the pain and loss that those 11 families endured 2 years ago in Pittsburgh. And as we approach this anniversary and remember those lives that were stolen and lift up their loved ones, we have to recommit to ending hate and gun violence in this country. Thoughts and prayers have never been enough. Republicans and Democrats both absolutely agree that no one should lose their life or fear that they may lose their life while attending a place of worship or school or a concert or going to a nightclub or the store. But we have to put action and common sense, meaningful legislation behind those concerns to save lives. And I think the anniversary of the senseless, heartless violence at the Tree of Life Synagogue is a really painful reminder of the cost of inaction. 1 week out from Election Day, I think we've got to take that painful reminder and vote for candidates up and down the ballot who are willing to take concrete action to help end this epidemic.
I think you're right. I mean, this was the one of the I think the largest attack on the Jewish community on American soil. That's why we talk about disarm hate and keeping hands out of those who intend to do harm. You've been part of this historic Congress, passing universal background checks, passing the Charleston loophole. There's been the reauthorization of VAWA. We have seen those bills go nowhere on the other side of the Capitol in the Senate. But what would you like to see in next Congress and see the action taken on this issue to address these issues and kind of curb this epidemic?
Well, you know, it doesn't have to be this way. And I want to remind people that it isn't just these horrific mass shootings that, of course, capture the 24-hour news cycle, but it is also domestic abuse situations that turn fatal. It's the fact that suicides account for 6 in 10 gun deaths last year. And I just don't believe it has to be this way. Last year in Congress, we passed H.R. 8, legislation to require universal background checks, which are supported by 97% of Americans. 97%. And that bill has sat on the doorstep, as you said, of the Senate, the other side of the Capitol, for over a year. That's unacceptable. That bill represents the will of an overwhelming majority of Americans. And in the next Congress, it needs to be passed by both chambers and signed into law. And the same goes for the bill that we passed last year to close the Charleston loophole. I want to see partisanship set aside and members from both sides of the aisle come together to support this common sense legislation that will literally save American lives.
I think you're right. 97% of the American public are with you. What can our supporters, what can our followers do to help GOTV get out the vote in your reelection effort?
Well, thank you for asking. This election is so pivotal in so many ways. We all know how important Pennsylvania is this year. And the outcome of this election is literally going to affect the lives of every single person in this country and our future as a nation. I truly believe that. And whether the issue that compels you to action is gun violence prevention, criminal justice reform, healthcare costs, climate change, or anything else, it's so important to always remember that you have the power to inspire those around you to take action too, and specifically to vote. So I am encouraging everybody to please engage with their friends, with their family, Encourage them to vote early or from home. Talk to them about the issues that are important to you so that they understand what those issues are and why they're important to you. Talk about the candidates up and down the ballot that inspire you and why they inspire you, and encourage your family members, if they are planning to vote, not to just vote it for the top of the ticket, but to look at that entire ballot and know what they're doing before they go into their polling place or before they fill out their ballot from home. And finally, I would say grab a couple of friends and spend an afternoon or 2 or 3 making phone calls and talking to people about how they can vote in this election. With every person we are able to get engaged in this election, our democracy grows stronger, and so does our propensity for meaningful change.
I think you're absolutely right. Best of luck to you, Congresswoman.
Thank
Best of
you.
luck in your campaign. Please stay safe and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the work you're doing.